terrorist attack in Istanbul marked the third and final episode in the Armenian atrocities of 1894 to 1896. A group of 26 Dashnak activists disguised as porters carried weapons and explosives hidden in money bags into the headquarters of the Ottoman Bank in Istanbul on August 26, 1896. They killed 2 guards and took hostage 150 bank workers and clients, threatening to blow up the building and everyone in it unless their demands, the appointment of a European High Commissioner to impose reforms in eastern Anatolia and a general amnesty for all Armenian political exiles, were met. Despite its name, the Ottoman Bank was a foreign-owned institution with nearly all its shares held by British and French concerns. The bid to force the European powers to intervene in Ottoman Armenian affairs backfired entirely. The terrorists were forced to abandon their occupation of the bank with their demands unmet, taking refuge on a French ship to escape Ottoman domains. Not only were the Dashnak's actions condemned by the European powers, but the attack on the bank set off pogroms against Armenians in Istanbul, in which as many as 8,000 were killed. The European powers, divided in their policies on the Armenian question, forced no changes in the Ottoman Empire. For the Armenian movement, the bloody events of 1894 to 1896 proved nothing short of a catastrophe. Over the following years, the Armenian movement changed tactics and worked with the Liberal Party seeking the reform of the Ottoman Empire. The Dashnaks attended the Second Congress of the Ottoman Opposition Parties in Paris, 1907, alongside the Committee of Union in Progress. They were enthusiastic supporters of the Young Turk Revolution of 1908 and emerged from it as a legally recognized group for the first time. The Armenian community fielded a number of candidates for the Ottoman Parliament later that year, and 14 were elected to the lower chamber. Many hoped that Armenian political objectives could be realized within the context of the Ottoman Constitution, the citizenship rights it promised, and the prospect of administrative decentralization. These hopes were dashed in the aftermath of the 1909 counter-revolution, when between April 25th and 28th, 1909, some 20,000 Armenians were killed in a frenzy of bloodletting. Zabel Isayan, one of the most prominent Armenian literary figures at the start of the 20th century, traveled to Adana shortly after the massacres to assist in the relief efforts. She found a city in ruins, inhabited by widows, orphans, and elderly men and women traumatized by what they had witnessed. One cannot take in the abominable reality in one sweep. It remains well beyond the limits of human imagination. She recounted of the horror. Even those who lived the experience are incapable of giving the whole picture. They stutter, sigh, cry, and in the end can only tell you about isolated events. Influential public figures like Isayan drew international attention to the massacres and condemnation of the Ottoman Empire. The Young Turks moved quickly and dispatched Cemal Pasha to restore peace in Adana after the violence had run its course. The Unionists needed to regain the confidence of the Dashnaks to prevent them seeking European intervention on behalf of the Armenian aspirations. The Dashnaks agreed to preserve cooperation with the CUP on condition that the government arrest and punish all those responsible for the Adana massacres, restore property to Armenian survivors, relieve their tax burdens, and provide funds for the destitute. In his memoirs, Cemal claimed to have rebuilt every damaged house in Adana within 4 months and had executed not less than 30 Mohammedans in Adana and 17 in nearby Erzincan, members of the oldest and highest families among them. These measures were taken as much to reassure the Armenians as to forestall European interventions, and for the moment they bought the Young Turks time on the Armenian question.